This is Josiah Plays Kentucky Route Zero. Alright, we're back here in Act 4 at Sam and Ida's. We kind of quit out in the middle of a thing last time, so we kind of have to go back. We're at the start of this next little conversation, so we might retread a slight bit of ground here. I'm not sure how much exactly, but anyway, apparently Sam has returned with a wriggling fish that he was having a lengthy conversation with as he came back up the many sets of stairs to the rooftop restaurant. And, we rejoin our characters thusly. Hey, Sam. Good haul tonight?
We'll see what she can make of it. Yeah, pretty good, I think. I hit some trouble down by the narrow tunnel. Some kind of fast-growing freshwater barnacles just about sealed it up. I picked away for half an hour before I gave up and went around the other way. But I got the catch of the day. That's the important part. That's what people travel for.
Are there a lot of fish in this lake? It seems so quiet.
Yeah, there's a fish or two. Not too many. It's not like a surface lake where you got sunlight propping up the food chain. Life down here grows slowly, patiently, quietly.
Josiah Speed ecosystem.
Will you stay for a drink? I've got a jark rum that goes well with coffee. Ha ha!
I think we're about to leave, but thanks.
Just passing through. Hey, aren't we all? Oh, you got your food ready. Y'all enjoy your meal, all right?
What kind of crazy meal is it going to be? The Bedquit Ramblers return. This world is not my home. My home either.
This world is not my home. I'm just passing through. My treasures and my hopes are placed beyond the blue. Many friends and kin have gone on before, and I can feel at home in this world anymore.
The Bedquilt Ramblers are really kind of like the mariachi band from Sounds of Slavery. They just show up wherever.
Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what will I do? Angels beckon me to heaven's open door, and I can feel at home in this world anymore.
It is kind of post-apocalyptic in tone. Yeah, pizza.
I have a loving mother up in
Like, not a hard apocalypse, just like an economic apocalypse. Like, there was no end of the world, there was no nuclear war, no zombies, no whatever. Just kind of like, economically, shit just has been falling apart to the point where the world is like, you know,
in heaven's open door, and I can't
an apocalypse.
let home
Nice, Knox.
in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what will I do? Angels beckon me to heaven's
Like real life, but slightly worse.
open
Yeah.
door, and I can feel at home in this world anymore.
Due to the lack of cows. Once the cows left, it was over. That was the Bed Quilt Ramblers. It's This World Is Not My Home by the Bed Quilt Ramblers. The opportunity just went past your eyes.
See that? Just looks like a swirling mess of garbage, doesn't it? Well, that's what it is. I don't know why trash seems to collect right there, of all the spots on the lake. It's always been that way. Everyone just navigates around it like it was an island or something.
Look closely, you can see some wood scraps from the old canoe rental shop.
Gemini Canoe and Firewood. This place was run by twin sisters, Cassie and Paula, I think. This was years ago. They used to rent out canoes to tourists, campers, pilgrims, folks like that. They must have had some kind of deal with the distillery. You'd always see a couple of Hard Times boys posted up on the dock, peddling small bottles to their customers. Cassie and Paula worked those old canoes to death, wrung every penny out of them. They'd only take one out of commission when it was truly, demonstrably dangerous, and you couldn't get a refund unless your boat was visibly taking on water. The side business in firewood was a stroke of minor genius. Yeah, this cluttered place makes a decent local museum. It's as good a history as I could ever tell. We arrived at a small houseboat neighborhood that sometimes hosted concerts for the pleasure of its residents, where Clara was scheduled that night to perform. Junebug and Johnny watched the show from the dockyard with the others.
Dockyard. Act 4. Scene X. Scene 9. A neighborhood. A neighborhood. Oh, theremin, the weirdest instrument in the world. Hey guys, I just came back from this cool place called the Far Realm, and they taught me how to play an instrument there.
You
literally play it by wiggle-waggling your hand in the air. Oh. Hmm?
I remember this.
I told you so.
Yeah, you don't have to say it.
Only because it's always true.
Haha. She played at the flower shop. Cyrano open. He was having trouble with his tape machine, so we just droned out on the lap steel. He got really into it, and he went on for like forever. Everyone was falling asleep.
Not everyone. I remember the air was warm, perfumed. You were playing with some petals you found on the floor, and I was looking at the ceiling. I remember the ceiling was glass. During the week, that room was a greenhouse. I don't know where they put all the plants when they had bands in. Maybe outside, if the weather was nice. It was nice that night. Warm. Smelled like spring. I remember the folding chairs. So uncomfortable. But I guess it was their only option. They had to pack everything up during the week so there'd be room to display the flowers. Wow, look at Ezra. He's wrapped.
He's wrapped? I guess he must be a real gift.
'Cause he's wrapped.
Haha. Yeah, he's really into it. So, we were talking about him earlier at the gas station.
Sure, I haven't forgotten Cricket.
Cool, yeah, I know. What do you think? About Ezra traveling with us for a while?
We were in the back. Passing messages in code. We used a code of our own design, inscrutable to observers, transmitted by movements of the eye. Be seeing you. You told me a joke. It was the one about the prisoners exchanging dirty moonshine recipes. I told you the one about the 3 bears in the outhouse. Then you told me the one about the dentist with the rude prosthetic. We had to leave the room. Imagine telling each other jokes with just movements of the eye. Not some be seeing you on the next level. If I sound hesitant or something, it's just... When I met you, when we met, we were nothing. Just these little grey shadows. And we grew and filled in and... But we did all that together. Ezra, sure, he's just a kid, but he's already a person. What would that do to our system? Our chemistry? Yeah. We took a wrong turn in the hallway and ended up in the basement. How do you end up in a basement? You have to go down some stairs. You're not just walking around on the ground floor and you take a turn and suddenly you're in the basement. I remember the air was cool and damp, like a cave. I remember the lingering perfume of the greenhouse giving way to an earthy plant smell, like we were digging down into the roots. The grimy door in the corner caught my eye. I remember the door was stuck. There was a large gap underneath it. I shined a light under the door. Through the gap, I could see brightly colored paper. You reached your arm under the door. You came back with a handful of dirt and confetti. You forced the door. It wasn't as stuck as we thought. The door burst open, and we fell through. Hey, I got the masters for the new record back from Lazar. They're okay, but
What? You listen to them without me?
You were at the pet shop. I didn't think I could tear you free.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, there are a few spots where the strings distort it a little, and the whole thing has way too much reverb. But overall, it sounds pretty good. The new drum machine fits right into the mix.
Nice.
The only question is how to do it live. I can't control the drum machine and sing and dance at the same time, and you've got your hands full of keytar. Keytar, you guys. We switched on the lights. The room was crowded with colorful wreaths for births, quinceañeras, weddings, funerals. Hands full of keytar equals scandalous. I don't think that is scandalous, other than the fact that just using a keytar is... a highly questionable action, TM. Scandalously spoony. Celebratory wreaths, but there was something kind of sad about it. Ludo Luco totally has a keytar. We got back to the greenhouse just as Clara was tuning up her theremin. Oh, Christ. She relaxed her shoulders, took a deep breath, and raised both hands into their precise positions. And she waved them like she just didn't care. And the room started shaking. Clara hit a note that made the glass rattle in sympathy, a perfect 2 octaves lower. She looked like a sorceress, tearing down the building with an effortless wave and incredible focus, coaxing the empty air into some kind of moaning, rattling demon. That's the thing about the theremin. It's the only instrument you never touch. You could see a wave of concern propagating through the greenhouse. People looking up at the trembling glass ceiling, looking at each other to see if anyone else was worried, trying to catch Clara's eye and discern if she was doing it on purpose or not, if she were really trying to bury us all in glass.
So how do you think we'll swing that? Playing the drum machine live?
We'll figure something out. Maybe glue it to the back of your keytar.
Oh, yeah. Or swap the buttons out for foot pedals.
Or put the drums on tape beforehand, like Cyrano does.
Oh yeah, I guess we have a lot of options.
Life is full of possibilities, Cricket.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a tense 5 minutes. We, the audience, alternated between fearing for our lives and lamenting hers that could have given her the kind of emotional experience to play this devastating song. Then, slowly, gently, Clara's hands came to rest. The theremin went quiet. The glass stopped rattling and the room relaxed, unharmed. That awkward moment when you try to cast Shatter, but they save.
I met a photographer once.
I mean, one in particular. She even took my portrait. I can't imagine why.
She said it would immortalize me. That was a metaphor, of course. She meant I'd never be forgotten. As she was disembarking, not far from here, actually, the film fell out of her bag and was borne away by the current. I was working on deck at the time. She shot me a sad, apologetic glance, but I wasn't bothered. It's no shame to be forgotten.
And the audience ruminated over the memory of the song. It's for scene 11. Silo of late reflections. Truck. Echoing unintelligible voices.
What's this place like, Dogwood Drive? It's in a small town, or? Yet, I really don't know. I've got the manifest the old man had in his truck here.
Yeah, I forgot. We're down Conway. Reading.
Lisette's Antiques. Mail order delivery. No return address. Shipping address 5 Dogwood Drive. Packing list. And then it's just numbers. I guess the inventory numbers of the antiques he was supposed to be delivering. Anyway, I'm glad you're coming with us. Yes. I'm always eager to see more of the country, and I enjoy the company. I would have to find a bus or a train to get on to Nashville by evening. Well, they have buses everywhere, right? Or, hey, I could drive you to Nashville. Seems I have a truck now, only... How are we gonna get it up these stairs?
Indeed. How are you gonna get it up those stairs? Probably by combining a banana with a roll of duct tape with a dead penguin in our inventory somehow.
That's quite a staircase.
Is there something we could do with a rope?
Sure, I can think of a few things. Nothing that'll get that truck up the staircase, though. Looks like we're making the rest of this trip on foot. I don't even know what's in there. What if it's too much to carry? No, we've been loading and unloading gear since the stars were young. We're our own roadies, right? We've got expertise.
By expertise, she means, Johnny, carry this shit.
Alright, Cricket, let's get this delivery packed and tied into bundles. We're hiking it upstairs.
Here, I'll take this large bag of feathers. You carry the box of handfuls.
What's in there?
Antiques, I guess.
Antiques?
Yeah, antiques are... It's like junk, but people will pay for it. Nice.
Oh! Sorry, I guess you'll be taking the bus after all. It's okay. It will be an adventure. Shannon sighs and stretches. The feeling of adventure. Tired? Don't worry, lady. We're almost there.
We're almost there. Robot legs. But what happened to Homer? He must have gone with Conway, right? Morning bird songs. These birds are sad. End of Act 4. Oh, wow. So keep in mind, folks, that this is for a long, long time how the game essentially ended. Because after this, the game, they didn't come out with the next part of it for years. So for a long time, people thought this was going to be the actual end of the game, because nobody thought that they were actually ever going to eventually come out with Act 5 and finish it. So it's kind of funny where they're like, oh, we're almost there, won't be long now. And then years later. They also added these interludes at the end, like when they added the last act. So they didn't have these interludes before either. So that really would have been the end for a long time. But let's see what Un Pueblo de Nada has to say to us. What if the entire thing's in Espanol? That would be avant-garde. Interlude. Intense storm sounds outside. Maya. I'm not late, am I? This must be our guest. Oh, is this the three people from the beginning, from the game? Emily and Bob and Ben or whatever? Another guest? How wonderful to meet you. Oh, hi. You must be, Oh, sorry. I'm Maya. Right, the traveling artist. Welcome. I'm Emily. I, work here. Great. Rita says you're the producer? Oh, did she? I guess so. I do a little bit of everything. Yeah, I know the feeling. You weren't around earlier at the lunch thing? No, I don't live in town. I just come in to work on the station. Really? That's quite a hike, isn't it? I know some shortcuts. Oh, okay. I wonder what her deal is. So, what's your deal? It's always a good question to ask somebody. What is your deal? Deal or no deal? You know what? I don't think I'm gonna work tonight. I'm tired and I gotta go do this other thing later. I'm just gonna stop looking at the... Alright, what's your deal? Blackjack. I could have phrased that differently. Oh, well, I'm an artist. I work with earth. I'm kind of an earth sculptor. I make stuff that looks a lot like the mounds you have here in town. Oh, the burial mounds? Yeah, that's why I came down here, to see them up close and make some sketches. They're amazing, right? They make me uncomfortable, to be honest. It seems kind of weird to build a town in a graveyard. Sure. Every town has a graveyard, but usually the town comes first. Okay, I'll check if Rita's ready. You can just hang out back here somewhere. We'll let you know when it's time to come on set. Great. Thanks for having me. You too. I mean, you know what I mean. Oh, why am I so awkward with visitors here? Nah, the mounds in the vending machine. It brings the critics such almond joy. Almond joy's got nuts. Mounds don't. Sometimes you feel like a nut. Sometimes you don't. Actually, I always do. Just used to seeing the same 12 people day in and day out, I guess. Whoa. Why do I have a weird grabby hand all of a sudden? All of a sudden I'm grabbing Gary? What? Looks like the ceiling is holding up okay. Just the usual leaks. It's an eye hand. You have to have good eye-hand coordination to use this. Miss you, Cross-Eye. I'm so confused by everything that's happening right now. Hope the neighbors are okay. At least the floor is staying dry. My left boot has a hole. Ben and Bob, working on a project. Oh, Ben and Bob. Bob and Ben. Still searching for their lost D20 on the lonely road of life. We found that radio in the woods a week or two ago. I cleaned the circuits with rubbing alcohol and left it in the sun. Seems like it was working okay again. So why are they taking it apart? Because that's what dudes do. When you get a device, you take it apart. Now, at that point, it's a real crapshoot as to whether or not you put it back together again. In my case, the answer is no. Looks like I just made it before the sky broke open. If it gets any worse, we might be stuck in town tonight. Alright, Cyrano's here to help with the weather report. That should be cool. Cool and dry, with a slight chance of clouds. Elmo gets a lot more into it when he has some noise to vibe on. Elmo, huh? The Video Data Bank. VDB. It used to be on the other side of the room, and the couch was in this corner. We moved it here when the ceiling is least leaky. It's further from the windows too, so sunlight doesn't bleach the labels. So much of archiving is just playing hide and seek with weather. Archiving. It belongs in a closet. Slow-mo crow. Keeping an eye on the control board. Wait, there's literally a crow on the crow control board. Keep up the good work, Mo. Hashtag literally a crow. Oh, James left a patch wired up on the image processor. Nice. Maybe there'll be time to play with it after the show. Time to start the show. WEVP TV. Okay, ready when you are. Rita. How does it look outside? Gross. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. Saturn is in retrograde. What does that even mean? Yep. That's pretty much what you do. Somebody says some shit like that, you're like, nobody knows what that means. And instead of like asking, you're just like, yep. Like, yeah, of course I knew that Saturn was in retrograde, right? Doesn't even bear mentioning. Think it'll let up? I guess we'll see what Elmo says. My poor tomatoes. Okay. In 3, 2... Hi, it's Rita. This is your evening broadcast, 8192. Wow, it's really raining out there. Damn, I can hear it from here. We have a few leaks. Put some pots and bowls underneath them. Thanks, Ron, for lending us your extra pots and bowls. I hope you had a good day despite the weather, although it was really nice earlier, right? I had a good day today. I met a new friend. She's going to join us in about a minute or so. Maybe you saw her earlier around lunch, or if you didn't meet her, then you'll meet her in a while. It's turning the other way. Or if you met her already, but you still want to hang out, I'm sure there's plenty that we can talk about. Wow, so this is 8192. Is that right, Emily? What is she talking about? To camera. That's a lot of broadcasts. I came in around the 5s, so I've only been around for half of them. And back then, in the 5s, let's see, I did Night Noise, and we had the Swap Show, and the Bird Show, and people were just coming in and dropping off tapes all the time, and now, well, it's just the evening broadcast. But it's not like, I'm not saying we're in decline or anything like that. I love the evening broadcast. I think it was the first show we had on here. It was the first show not produced by the Power Company. Consolidated Power. It was the first community show, yeah. Those empty, humming shots of trees and glowing-eyed animals. Before that, it was just security footage from the woods. Yeah, so it's the spine of the station. Or maybe it's the heart. Or is it the skin? What part of the WEVP body do you think this is? The mouth. Why don't you come on by and tell us about it? We're going to be here for another 30 minutes or so. Or if you don't want to brave the storm, you can always give us a call. Same number as always. Is this a different phone number? Because if you think I'm not going to call it, you're sadly mistaken. It's a different number, same area code though, so it's probably also Gracie, Kentucky. 270-216-5556. It's that time, you guys. It is that time.
Hi, you've reached WEVP. Thanks for calling. Well, I guess we must be in the middle of a special broadcast, or we're playing a tape, or if it's really late at night, maybe everyone's just asleep. Maybe you should be asleep. Nah, I won't judge you. Let's see. You can leave a message in a minute, but if you're calling about the party, it's canceled. If you have a tape, just bring it by. You don't need to do the whole thing with the appointment and all the formalities anymore. Actually, we haven't done any of that stuff for a while. If you're calling to report a bear sighting, sit tight and it will probably go away on its own. For any other emergency, just be cool.
Just be
If you're
cool.
calling about the free egg, check that number. You dialed an extra 5 somewhere. If you're from somewhere far away and think about visiting our little town, you probably want to check in with the Bureau of Secret Tourism first for some travel tips. Their number is 270-301-5797.
The other number.
Then you can leave your application on the corner of Mother and it's between two large pine trees where it looks like your hike just over the power line. Anyway,
I can't understand
for
most
some
of
other
this.
reason, you can leave us a message and we'll do our best to listen to it. I mean, we'll at least listen to it, right? It's the least we can do.
Well, there was actually a thing. Another telephone number. Crazy. Crazy. It wasn't like the other one, though. I like that they give you the other number, though. I could barely understand half of what was being said. It was breaking up so much.
Okay, so we're gonna start with a tape. This is an old one. It's one of mine, but maybe you haven't seen it. Or if you've seen it, it's been quite a while, so maybe you've forgotten.
Ron, whispering.
Shit! What? She asked me to cue up her tape. Un pueblo de nada. Or is it? I don't know. It's probably still shelved. I'll find it.
Ron silently mouths a thank you. Is the phone even working in this storm? The reception's been awful lately. Yes, it was. Tin cans strung together. Maybe we should string some tin cans and twine around town. I hope the sign isn't getting wet. Sherry just repainted it. Rita's tape should be on a shelf back here. Don't you worry about Rita's tape. Okay, you can start worrying about it. Emily scans the shelf of videotapes. Oh, what's this? Emily pulls out an unlabeled tape. To herself absently.
Possible to say. Not much tape in there, though. Old bumpers?
Louder for others' benefit.
Someone should come in here and label all these.
We should put this all in chronological order, although I guess it's hard to remember sometimes the order of things. And some of these tapes were made at the same time, or we started one video and then started another in the middle, and then came back later, and that is confusing. Chronicling ain't easy. Time is out of joint. It's like sweeping a beach. Oh, wait a minute. Something fell behind the shelf here. Emily pulls a grimy tape case from behind the shelf. Gross, it's damp. She opens the case. It's empty. Ralph borrowed it for his screening, so it's probably with the others. Sligan's tape. Here. Aunt Connie reframed. Bare Waste Studios. Studies. Death of an airfield. Un pueblo de nada. Aha! What would you all do without me? Probably find the tape. I think finding a tape in a room is not something that required a high degree of training. I'll cue up Rita's tape now. Find the invisible tape.
Here you go, Mo. Hold off on playing this until Rita's done setting it up. Thanks, babe.
Grabbing Gary. It's a hand-eye thing to have. Tape, 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 tape. Zoom.
Ready when you are, Rita.
some people that lived here a long time ago, before the company town, before the airstrip, like over 100 years ago. Okay, so I hope you enjoy it. Ready, Emily? I wonder what Maya thinks of the dock.
Antes de eso, de algún lugar en América Central. Se reconstruyó a sí misma, persona por persona, en los años entre medio. El pueblo construyó
This is cool.
docenas de
Have you seen it
estructuras
before?
durante su tiempo aquí.
I should say something nice.
Estas estructuras todavía en pie
Yeah,
es la que
it's
llamamos
something
la sala
else.
del museo, la cual
You don't sound
construyeron con el
convinced.
propósito de ser una biblioteca.
It's not a bad way to learn about history, though.
Pero hasta ese edificio ha sido modificado
I can't
y
remember where the
reparado
music for this video came from.
Probablemente ninguna de
Rita.
las estructuras presentes son
No,
originales.
Sherry brought it in.
Las
She found a
otras
crate of
estructuras
old tape reels in the hangar.
fueron destruidas y
She was just
modificadas
hanging
durante
out.
su tiempo aquí.
Must have been from the power company. Maybe some music to pipe over the loudspeakers in town and keep spirits high.
Conocemos de esas esculturas o
It is history, right? Or is it just a story?
por las anotaciones
Seems
detalladas
kind of sad now.
sellaron y
I guess it's
preservaron
kind of a
durante
memorial. Those are always sad.
fue su credo.
A memorial to the people who used to live here. Or is there even a difference? Good question. Although, now the tape is just here, on a shelf. Every once in a while, we dust it off and it shuffles around the airwaves again, like an old dog. Sorry, did I say something wrong? Oh, no. I'm sorry, I just have some weird shit going on in my head tonight. You know what I mean? Sure, it's okay. Sorry I spaced out. Don't worry about it. You should... Oh, should I go see it? Yeah, it's almost over. Spanish. It's a superior language. I think Spanish should be the lingua franca, or the lingua española of the world. Everyone should speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish really, but everyone should, hypothetically. Piles of dirt. Next up is Maya's interview. So, where are you staying tonight? Here in town. Oh, good. Yeah. Even before the storm came in, I thought it'd be nice to get some rest before the long hike back to the highway. Ron offered his loft. What? What? You're staying with Ron? He said I could sleep in his loft. Oh, honey. He's talking about his barn. Ron, nobody wants to sleep in your barn. Ron shrugs. Fucking Ron. Ron be like, I mean, if you don't want to stay in there, I understand. You could come inside, I guess, but there's only one bed. I'm just imagining Ron as having this, like, big porn mustache. Fucking Ron. It's not haunted. But it is haunted. Bob got some pretty clear voices there on his tape recorder. He wanted to have a seance, but couldn't round up enough brave souls to go all the way around the table. He didn't realize there was any wrongdoing with that lofty offer. Wow, Knox. You'll stay at my place. Oh, thanks. Oh, Ron. Hashtag oh, Ron. Do you need anything? Actually, do you have an extra toothbrush? It'd be nice to sleep under the stars. I think I do, actually, yeah. Oh my god, I've been in the woods, you know? Right. I actually used a twig this morning. I kind of chewed up one end. No stars tonight, though. I've done that. Really? I'm disappointed. I thought I invented it. Even better, you can chew on some pine needles. It really freshens your breath. I mean, it's not perfect. Wow, that's roughing it. Just close your eyes and pretend, I guess. Right, exactly. And even then, it's just not the same as real toothpaste. Do they know we're rolling? Are you aware that this is being recorded? Emily waves to Rita. Oh, okay. Doing a show. Hi, so I hope you enjoyed that video. Like I said, that was from, like, it's several years old. I can't remember exactly. I enjoyed it very much. Oh, thank you, Maya. Whispering to Ron, what's next? I brought in a tape. Oh, okay. You good? All queued up. I'm gonna check on the boys. The boys. The hell are they doing? Apparently they're just playing some loud-ass radio broadcasts while recording television. Of course, I guess with the sound of the massive rainstorm pounding down, not the ideal recording conditions. Ben and Bob are seated on the couch, poking at the electronic innards of a radio. Ben. So then it won't meet while it scans between stations. Okay, because that's where they live, right? No. You just want that constant static noise. Right. The noise. That's where they live. They're looking for the Doldo Makwa, or whatever the thing was from... The Doldo Mamadakwa, or whatever. They don't live anywhere, dude. They're ghosts. Wait, that's not the Ben voice. They don't live anywhere, dude. They're ghosts. Okay, why does it matter where you tune the radio? It's like the soil in your garden. You need rich soil, right? Mashed up, rotted leaves and stuff, like compost. Oh, hey, Em, how's the show? Ben has something stuck in his beard. Oh, you know, it's a piece of food. Sandwich meat? Pretty good progress on the ghost box. That's not okay to have meat in your beard. Scans constantly. I hope nobody tells him. And play it back later. Hey, you got something in your beard. Hey, you got something in your beard. No. The radio crackles as it scans rapidly across the spectrum. Snippets of voices mixed with colored noise and unfamiliar interference patterns. Did you hear that? That was definitely a voice from beyond the grave. Sounded like, I clearly heard dogwood in there. Yeah, kinda. Sounded more like frogwood to me. What the hell is frogwood? Man, I don't tell the ghosts what to say. Did you hear that, Emily? Must have been dogwood. Dogwood, of course.
I guess it doesn't matter.
No, that's bad. That's bad, not Bob. I guess it doesn't matter. Ghost voices don't really come out until you play back the recording later.
They only exist in recordings, like a copy without an original. A mirror reflecting something that isn't in the room.
Weird. Like a vampire. Wait, no, that's backwards. A vampire has no reflection. Yeah, vampires are pretty mundane by comparison. They're just a mashup of some creepy things we already knew about. Cannibalism, hypnotism, mist, bats.
Yeah, I see bats every night.
Bats aren't weird at all. Ghosts, though, we need a whole new framework to think about ghosts.
So the ghosts speak and we can't hear it. But the tape recorder can hear it. Is that right?
I don't know. Sometimes I think it's more like the recording itself is a ghost. Like, that's what ghosts are. Recordings of events that didn't happen. When something keeps leaving new marks even after it's gone. False memories. Could be. Hug more leaks. This is not sustainable. I wonder if it's true in cities too, if rain makes it all look empty. I'm trying to remember, what's a big city I've been in when it rained? Oh, Chicago. Downpour on Western Avenue. We took shelter in a gas station. Does it just look empty because everybody stays inside? No, there's something uncanny about a town in a thunderstorm. It's like a reanimated corpse. The bowls on the floor are getting full pretty quickly. I hope somebody is planning to empty these. Somebody else. James has been working on this circuit diagram for a while now. A fist? GFX. Lip. Lib. The diagram has been up on the chalkboard for at least a couple of months. It's a schematic for some essential component in the image processor. Nobody understands it but James. That's the point. He's trying to clean it up and simplify it a bit. He'll publish the simplified diagram, and everyone can build an image processor. It's just that simple. Meanwhile, it's like hieroglyphics in here. The schematic seems to get more eerie the longer James is away. The schematic is actually the king in yellow. He understands it, which keeps it tethered in the realm of the human. It's Nevermore. That's who this is. Otherwise, it might as well be Lycan. I'm not sure whether I'm liking this or not. I love the oscilloscope. You can plug any signal in here and it shows up on the screen. Sound waves, video signals, even just a weak electrical signal with no other purchase on the senses. You can inspect electronic sounds that are usually too low frequency to detect. Sometimes it takes a little tuning. James used this to show me the guest in our wiring here in town. There's a low hum, barely even a hum, because it's too slow to be audible. A slow, gentle oscillation that offsets every other electrical signal in town. James hasn't been able to figure out what causes the hum, but it's okay. It's too subtle to cause any real problems for us. It's just there. It's the pail. It's Ron's big moment. Oh no. Oh, Ron. Oh, Ron. Here we go, Ron. Okay, so Ron, anything you want to tell us about that tape?
Everything on that tape was wild.
Really? Everything? Wild stuff indeed. Even the horses?
Everything on that tape was wild.
Forged folk tapes. These are all total non sequiturs. I used to tell everyone about this donut shop in Sonora. Donut Party. I told everyone they had amazing crullers, trying to convince them to stop there with me anytime we were in the area. But the reason it stuck in my head was the name. I just thought it was funny. Boot Barn. Were the horses wild? I thought those were the horses here. Oh, the neighbors? We call the horses here the neighbors. No, I didn't recognize that one. One morning on our way back after a late gig, just as the sun was coming up, Ben and Bob and I found ourselves on 65 by the Sonora exit at prime donut eating hours, so we stopped by. I don't think there are any wild horses anymore. Really? How could that be? Oh, well, they've all been domesticated. Are the neighbors domesticated? We don't own them, no. They're, feral? The hell's the difference between feral and wild? It wasn't called Donut Party. It was just called Donuts. I said I thought they'd change the name. But why? And then I noticed there was a party supply store across the street. The donuts weren't even very good. Ah, Donut Party. That's no Boot Barn, I'll tell you that right now. But the weird part is, I still fantasize about stopping by the real Donut Party some morning and having one of those amazing crullers. In fact, the desire has only grown more intense. Oh, right. In your documentary, you said that the people who used to live here had freed their horses. Exactly. But you can free your pet cat, but it won't turn back into a panther? That's true. Right. That's a kind of haunting. Kind of ghost, like Ben was saying. She's still on the donut thing. But everything is a ghost around here these days. It's a ghost town, with people still living in it, against all reason. This evening broadcast is a travesty, really. Honestly, who hasn't suddenly just thought that about something you're involved in? You're doing something, you see how shit it is, everyone involved in is shit, and you're just thinking in your head, this is honestly kind of a travesty. This is honestly kind of a shit show. Yeah. I'd never say that out loud. Everyone works so hard on it. Man, people work so hard on so many bad things. Myself included. What about the dogs? Yeah, Ron. Was the dog wild?
Everything on that tape was wild.
But it's a little perverse that this little community news program goes on strong, while the community itself is barely hanging on. A leftover reflection. It didn't look wild to me. I guess it's a matter of perspective. I'm not sure I agree, but now it's time for the weather. Thanks again, Ron. We're hanging on long past our expiration date. I know that feeling. Well, the weather should be pretty wild. I can hear it for myself right now. I think there might be rain. Yeah, getting pretty intense out there. You get storms like this a lot? More and more. Right, of course. And then, of course, there's the actual ghost. Alright, here's Elmo with the weather report. And, lucky us, we also have Cyrano Cole, who stopped by to add some drama. Musically. I hear he's going to be at the Rum Colony later tonight, if you need a cocktail after the show. The Rum Colony. So let's go live to Elmo for the weather report. Oh, is Elmo ready? I should make sure the camera's pointed in the right direction. These people are some fucking professionals. Oh good, standing water on the floor and a hole in my boot. If it's raining and leaking so much that the floor is literally covered in water, maybe we shouldn't be, you know, using all this electrical equipment and stuff. I mean, it could be time to wrap things up here. Cool, my socks are getting wet. I love to have wet socks. Who doesn't? Looks like the ceiling panels are swelling a little. Yeah, this isn't good. Is this really happening? Are we about to get drenched? Grabbing Gary. Forget Elmo and Cyrano. They're killing this weather report. Roofs are leaking all over town. Flash flooding imminent. With some very questionable music. This is like, what if David Lynch was in charge of a news show? Hey. Hey. This is so trippy. How did he work out these ratios of oil, water, and dyes? It seems so precise the way he drips them in one little half drop at a time. Must have been a lot of trial and error. Just staring at a circle of light on the wall. Drip, drip, drip. Where do you get your supplies, Elmo? Ben has a guy in... Oh wait, you mean the projection stuff? I mail ordered these candle dyes. This other stuff is just mineral oil, like you can get at the drugstore. The projector, somebody just left it here, man. Incredible. Actually, it was that girl who does the pirate video stuff. You know, jamming our signal. Talking about Weaver. Weaver? Yeah, our resident ghost. Ghost, huh? You really think she's dead? Doesn't matter. What does he mean by that? You don't think it matters? No. Alive or dead, a ghost is just what happens when a person is gone but still taking up space. Hey, you think she'll get us tonight? It's about time, right? He's right. We're about due. About due for ghost attack?
Plus, Saturn's in retrograde.
Yep. So I hear. Not that she keeps a strict schedule, but it's never longer than a month or two between... Oh, what does Mimi call them?
I know they're bad for the general vibe around here, but can I be honest?
Emily nods in mock gravity.
I kinda like it when she busts in and takes over our signal. It's like a log falling on the road. Reminds you that this all used to be trees.
Interventions, that's what Mimi calls it. How does she do it?
Her performances were cool, though.
I never saw her, perform, but I heard about it. That's treason, Elmo. Treason. Tree, son.
Oh, yeah, I saw her do it a few times. I was into it.
For a while we thought she had a tower somewhere, but she's even jamming the local cable transmissions. She did lectures, right?
Yeah, you could say that. I thought of them as storytelling sessions. She talked for hours and shuffled through slide after slide of shapes, numbers, weird constellations. Who knows what any of it meant?
Ralph and Sherry went and checked every cable in town for... Oh, what would they call it?
Sabotage.
Don't worry, you just gotta send somebody out to pull a lever and everything will be fixed. And this was her projector.
Right. I don't know where she got it, though. It still works pretty well. I got a spare bulb at a resale shop, but I haven't had to use it yet.
Taps? Splices? Injection sites? Places where Weaver would be overriding our signal. They didn't find anything. It's because she's a ghost! It's a mystery. That's why it bothers people so much. But to me, that just makes it more dignified, somehow. If you don't solve it, it'll be a missed opportunity. What happened to the rest of her stuff?
I bet her slides are still here in the studio. Maybe with the posters? Sherry has all Weaver's old notebooks. I know that. She keeps them in her archive. You know, the big blue filing cabinet.
With the daisies painted on.
Yeah. Anyway, the really hard part to find is these two pieces of glass. They have to be paired very precisely. I had to get these from the clock store over in Glasgow. That's where they come from. Clock faces.
Thanks for the tips, dude.
Anytime, dude.
Dude. Dude, where's my projector? Copy it right. Back to you, Rita.
Everything on that tape was wild.
In 5. Cave art. Thanks, Elmore and Cyrano. So, next we have a selection from the video databank. You're gonna like this one, Maya. This one's about caves. Ooh. Yeah, local caves. We play this one a lot. It's pretty cool. Telephone rings. You're not allowed to get a call in the middle of a show. Or maybe you are. Oh, but we have a phone call. Should we get it now or should we wait? We'll get it now, okay. Rita presses a button on the telephone next to her. Hello, WEVP. That guy sounds like Will, kind of. I wonder if it's the same voice actor. Jeff with the G. I would call him Geoff from then on. Like, I would always call him Geoff. Wow, it's really hard to hear him. This guy's weird. Hope y'all packed a lunch. Sounds like this is gonna be a long one. If someone was going to sing his praises, it would be a geode. Wow. Fucking Jeff. Oh, Bumbles. Milk. I wish I could understand him better, because this sounds funny. This should be okay if I wander around a bit. Hey, babe. Hey, babe. Slow-mo crow, a chitter and then a coo. Did you know, Weaver? 2 chitters and a chitter. Oh, really? Was she nice to you? Clicks. Well, that's good to hear. You make her sound so normal. Talk to anyone else and it's like she had a second head. One of our little mysteries, like the out-of-towner. A single enigmatic call. Oh, really? Did you know him well? Several whistles and then a pause as if more were coming, but they never do. Wow, I had no idea. A series of coos and a coo. This is like that whole thing where they just have a character that makes random sounds and everybody else acts like they're just talking completely normal and they understand what they're saying. Classic bit. So, who do you think did it? A snap and then a coo. Of course, I hadn't considered that possibility. What a waste. Sad. Well, have fun. I'm gonna see if Geoff is done. A single playful click. Playful click. Someone, Mimi I think, was tracking Weaver's appearances here. She'd jot down the time and date whenever there was an intervention. Mimi hasn't been by in a few weeks though. When was the last one? Let's see what the notes say. Oh wait, she just wrote times, not dates. Well, that's not very helpful. They're all at night. I guess that's a pattern. Oh, and here's Ron's recipe for mac and cheese. 6 cups of milk? Decadent. Of course. Yay, mac and cheese. Yay, milk. No leaks back here just yet. The tapes are safe for the moment. I have a bad feeling the situation won't last. Soon I'll be scrounging for a tarp to protect the video data bank. Yeah, instead of soon, you should be doing that right the fuck now. Couch is getting a little damp, but Ben and Bob don't seem to mind. Probably too wrapped up in their project. Bob had some theories about Weaver's broadcasts. He was wondering how she might be tapping into our wires here in town. He built a model, like a proof of concept. This big metal box you could wire up and use to take over our signal. It actually worked. But the thing needed too much power to run. Even a car battery could only keep it going for a few seconds. Weaver's broadcast just loops and loops, sometimes for hours. Consolidated Power doesn't pay any attention to this town anymore. But they still have us on a strict energy budget. There's no way she's plugged into the grid. Maybe she's doing it from the power plant. Maybe she works for Consolidated Power. Or maybe... He's actually asleep! Ron is actually asleep. Or maybe... she really is... a ghost! She's at the cops. Jeff is so fucking Canadian, you guys. We've all known a Geoff. Fucking Geoff! No shit, the line's dead. The phone lines are such a mess up here. No, come back, Geoff! Hello? Was that the storm? Or was it the damn phone lines? Man, they're really flaky. Ugh, business as usual. He has a really soothing voice. That's Geoff. He's a regular caller. He's asleep. Maya indicates Ron, who has fallen asleep in his chair. Oh, well, let him sleep. Okay, well, let's play the tape. This is cave art. It's a classic around here. I'm excited. Looks like Mo's got this one all queued up. Way to go, Mo. I should make small talk. I should let Maya enjoy the tape. So, if Weaver is a ghost, by some agreed-upon definition and mechanics, that means WEVP-TV is haunted. Should we be doing something about that? Somebody Google what to do if your public access TV station is haunted. Aren't you supposed to, like, have an exorcism or something? I mean, you can't just leave a place haunted. I would leave a place haunted. That would be negligence. I'd miss her, though. I guess there are good ghosts and bad ghosts. Like spiders. Good in the garden, bad in the shower. A loud crashing noise from outside wakes Ron up.
What the hell?
What was that?
Well, check it out. Everything on tape was wild.
Yikes.
Should we go help?
Oh no.
Oh, the tape is over. What did you think? That was great.
Yeah, I like that one. I kind of... Suddenly, darkness.
That sounded pretty close.
Oh no.
Is the power out? Or just the lights? I don't know, I'll take a look. Maybe a fuse blew on a relay or something. Some scared rat chewed a wire.
It's Fenris. Abandoned ship!
Just kidding.
Guess I'll take a look around and see if anything's smoking. I'm gonna have to grab and Gary some shit. Our little town must seem even more romantic now, huh? Is it the ghost of Weaver? If it survives the night. Maybe we should call... Nah, the phones are definitely dead now. I guess it's up to me to figure out what's going on here. Well, I think I keep seeing the silhouette of Weaver. So, pretty obvious what's going on. It's... the ghost? Is that a... No, of course not. Lightning flashes in the dark make it look like a slideshow out there. My summer vacation in the ghost town. They're still picking away at their project, in the dark, as the storm bears down on us. So what else is new? This whole town... Poor thing, she's soaked. Who's soaked? The fuck is Nikki?
Are you having trouble with... Oh, I spoke too soon. I thought your power was out. Yeah, it just came back on. Weird. Good though. You made it. In this storm? Oh, I'd never miss the evening broadcast. To be honest, it's the only time I get to share my work.
The hell is Nikki? What work? Questionable work. Reading her poetry to us here in the studio. Nikki's still carrying a torch for the out-of-towner. I like how the out-of-towner is like this mythic figure, all capitalized and shit. Like, if you ever come to this town from out of town, you become like a figure of folklore. I feel like that's the way they're still talking about me in Colfax, California. Remember the coming of the out-of-towner. His chariot was riven by the gods. Sure, of course. That's great. What happened with the power? That was weird, right?
The power? Oh, it seems like a normal kind of thing to happen in a storm.
Yeah, you're right. I just have an eerie feeling tonight.
Well, you know, Saturn's in retrograde, right?
Fucking Saturn. Oh, Saturn. It sure is. I feel like in the dim light, Emily just gave Nikki a camera stare when she said that about Saturn. Well, ready to go?
Ready.
Oh, this ceiling is falling apart. Doesn't bode well for the roof. This is a bodacious storm. Some of the studio wiring is in puddles now. It's dangerous, right? Nobody else seems concerned about it. Okay, I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see that. a lot of water on the floor. Now we enter the cultural section of tonight's program. To the out-of-towner. Dun dun dun. We're talking about like Mad Max. We don't need another hero. Do-do-do.
Did you fix it? Just came back on its own. It'll just take a second for the equipment to warm back up and we'll be on the air again.
Spooky.
It's a disaster out there. The neighbor's barn is basically underwater. Wow, just completely... Yeah, just completely flooded. I passed Ron on the way in. He's going to take a look and see if there's anything he can do.
Barn underwater? Oh no! The sea cows!
Will they be okay? Ron knows what he's doing. He used to be a firefighter.
We all used to be something.
It's a little bit different now, though, right? I guess.
Nikki hands some wet paper towels to Rita. Here, these won't dry you off, but you could smear the water around some.
Oh, thanks.
Nikki pulls a journal out of her jacket pocket.
I brought my work.
My work. Oh, good. Nikki reads her poetry. It's a weekly feature of our broadcast. We have a lot of time to fill.
Oh, great. I look forward to hearing it.
Maya's so enthusiastic about everything. Everything is just great if you're Maya. Yeah, I just hope that we can keep going. We lost power a little while before, right? This fucking rain sound is killing me. It's like super loud on the game too, isn't it? Can you even hear me talking? Because I can barely hear like myself with this thunderous background sound. You can hear me? Okay, good.
Better get started then.
To the camera reading.
To the out-of-towner. What eagle flew you to your final bed? It was not men who brought you there to sleep. The men who left you bloodied then and fled had chosen mud and muddy-watered creek. Did wild turkeys gobble, dote and care, and wipe the moss beneath your eyelids clear? Did cardinals pull the twigs out from your hair, and wash your hands and feet, and trim your beard? When wood ducks dressed you in your resting gown, and pigeons fashioned shoes from leaves and bark, and who then sewed flowers into a burial crown? The one who made your headdress was a hawk. The men who broke your body, where were they? The vultures stayed home on your funeral day.
Emily, look at the monitor!
Dude, be quiet. We're live right now.
No, we're not. Look! Look at the monitor. Look at the monitor. Look at the monitor. Somebody needs to monitor the situation. That's not our broadcast. Ghost time! Damn, there she is. Alma was right. What's wrong?
It's her. Weaver.
Oh, really? Tonight? Sorry about this, Maya.
What's going on?
Local prankster. She jams our signal every once in a while. Whenever the stars align. Whenever Some planet is in retrograde or whatever the fuck that means. Prankster, not the word I would use. Damn, so what do you do about it? Just wait until she's done. We've never been able to stop her from jamming us. We don't even know how she does it. We should be back on in a minute, though. Don't worry. Storm intensifies outside. Glass breaking and building groaning. I'm sure that's supposed to happen. Acts of God. Are they going to keep the Weaver broadcast mysterious? Achievement unlocked. Un pueblo de nada. And finally, we come to Act 5. Act Cinco. As they say south of the border. Except they don't say act, they say whatever the Spanish word for act is. Acto. It's not acto, Josiah. You don't know. Could be, but it's not. But it could be, but it's not. Act 5. You got to play just to make it today. That's why we play. Play! And then they were all devoured by Cthulhu. As one is. Are you guys ready for Act 5? Who's ready for Act 5? Show of hands. Show of hands. Who's ready for Act 5? Whoa! Whoa! Hands! Ah, the game... Were those here before? Were these fucking shadow hands here before? When did these appear? I said show of hands. I didn't see them. But hacks. I didn't realize this whole thing, like, weirdly rotated. This game has been considerably longer than I was expecting. Considerably longer. And now we finally get to Act 5. Well, I don't see any hands in chat, but I do see some shadowy silhouettes. What? Some silhouettes of hands. So that'll have to do. Hey, Nautilus Knots, thanks for the host. Really appreciate that. How you doing, Knots? Good to see ya. What's going on? Yo! I'm okay, and you? I'm good. We just finished an interlude in this game, and we're now ready to start the final act. There are 5 acts, and we're gonna start the final act. So, you know. Strange game. Very strange. Crazy. What were you streaming? What were you doing? Some more magic, or something else? You guys aren't following Nautilus Knots. Oh, Human Fall Flat. Yeah, that's right. I think I saw earlier that you were streaming that. Right. Cool, cool. Let's see what happens in Act 5. Act 5, Scene 1. A town. That's descriptive. Morning bird songs. Is that a dead horse? Wrong size. It doesn't look like Ron to me. Maybe it is. So Shannon and Ezra and... I don't know who is here. That's everything, right? Oh, it's Clara. How did all this fit in that truck? It's bigger on the inside. I think it rained. Rained a lot. Rained a lot, I mean. The worms are going to be out for sure. Have you ever heard a worm sing? They only sing if they trust you without reservation. And how exactly do you earn the trust of a worm? Tell us your secrets, Midge. Totally Midge. The worm song is completely unique. So, where is 5 Dogwood Drive? I'll go scout ahead. Okay, holler if you find anything. What the hell? I'm a fucking... What? What? I'm not even playing one of the characters right now. I'm some sort of glowing dragonfly. And the cat is following me. Well, this is a strange thing to be, and I move very quickly.
It's a damn shame, that's what you call it.
That's a dead horse, isn't it? Wow, this is crazy and cool, actually. There's like a big pit here. And there's some people. Oh, that's Johnny and Junebug. There's a lot of people and things around. What does that say? Waffles? Something weather? Wow, this is a cool scene. Will it still fly?
Oh, yes, she just got a little banged up in the storm. I'll have her up and running again by this afternoon, I'm sure.
Oh, this guy's got a plane. Can I fly it?
Well, how's your upper body strength?
Not good.
It's good. Really good.
Really good. This old girl is operated by pulleys. I mean 100% mechanical. Well, except for the throttle. ...
I could do that.
I admire your confidence, young man. Yep, just a little bent metal. I'll have her skyworthy again in a matter of hours.
Wow.
I've been doing this a long time, kiddo.
I want to get old enough to where I can, like, literally call people kiddo, and it's not weird. I feel like you can eventually get to a certain age where you can call anybody basically anything you want, and it's not weird because you're just an old person. Dude, this this little dragonfly gets around. At first they only observed the truck from a distance. It was an alien carcass, something that made more sense in death than in life. The company had dropped it off in the middle of the day, when everyone was at the plant. They let it sit overnight, alone and strange. These are like ghost figures. What's going on here? Alone and strange. What's going on here? Oh, I have to click on truck, you guys. Nikki thought it was ridiculous, but Ron approved. To Elmo, the truck was simply beautiful. The town didn't produce much garbage anyway, she said. Who would drive it? And where? The locals had turned to gardening when the company's store stopped stocking canned vegetables, so there was very little garbage to be hauled off anymore. Everyone had to agree this was money and attention that would have been better spent addressing the town's drainage problems. Maybe finally get started on that damned messianic ditch. Messianic ditch. The ditch of Christ! Still, they had a few things to dispose of. Broken flower pots, empty glass bottles, clothes that didn't fit anymore. They gradually fell into the habit of collecting waste and carrying it to the truck. Once a month, some shadows would come in from the night woods and haul the garbage away on a cart. That's convenient when shadows come in and take your garbage away. That is always convenient. Oh, I'm really far. I can go really far. Really far. What's this? But still can't really tell where I'm clicking, where I am, where I'm allowed to click. A little bit. Like I want to go over here to this tower and it's like, nope. That is not in the cards, my friend. Look at that cat, just hauling ass. Wanda snores softly. I can't deal with any more new characters right now. These are like miniature geodesic domes or something. Paints and chalk in the small bag. Diary in the large bag. Stuffed dog in the small bag. Photograph of Chris in the large bag. No, in the small bag? Sandra couldn't decide. Should she keep the photo of her husband? Or should Alex keep the photo of his father? Seems like a strange choice. Playing Magic, so not too talkative. Hey, that's cool, Knots. I appreciate you coming by and also for the host, as usual. Thanks. Let's check out this diary. She wrapped the diary in a towel before stuffing it into her bag, feeling slightly silly doing it. Fraser had been on a tear collecting all written material as community property lately. Fraser Crane? Oh, for heaven's sake, Niles! Get the fuck out of here if you've never watched Frasier. Or Cheers. She set everything down, closed her eyes, massaged her temples, and wondered, not for the first time, how Frasier had consolidated so much invisible power so quickly. How had he done it? Had he in fact done anything at all to claim this incredible lattice of influence? Or had they simply, blindly, given it to him? Apparently Frasier's running shit. There's Wanda. Snoring softly. Cheerful meow. Wanda's still sleeping peacefully. There's Junebug and Johnny. Junebug and Johnny strain to hear noises coming from the well. It's the entrance to Under Mountain. It's like two people talking, but not to each other. Talking to themselves, maybe? They're each alone. Johnny shades his eyes with his hand. You think the truck's okay down there? Sure, I doubt any thief could get it started. Cat meowing into a hole simulator. Oh, wow. Look. It's the station where the whole broadcast was happening. Look, the whole place has been ripped asunder by the storm. Ripped asunder. Elmo gave Rita a tour of the cameras and wiring. She'd just been through a certificate program on public broadcasting at the community college. So no surprises there. Nikki showed her the video databank. James demonstrated the Sandin image processor. And then Ron came barreling in with an urgent expression. The station had a great collection of videotapes made by local artists, along with a huge library of what looked like home movies. There were tapes about local politics, the weather, video dream diaries. Rita was eager to start contributing her own work. It wasn't quite the radical guerrilla television crew she'd dreamed of joining. This group seemed more interested in sharing the town's home movies than culture jamming and interfering with corporate stations, but she liked that focus on local concerns. Ron's news was clearly bad news. Rita's heart sank a little as they listened. She knew things were unraveling, knew from experience what that looked like. Wouldn't it be nice to arrive at the beginning of something for once? But as she listened to Ron detail the power company's sudden withdrawal from town affairs, she heard other possibilities. She studied their faces and found concern for sure, but also something like relief, hope, an awakening of play. Nikki looked like she might have been daydreaming. These were people, Rita decided, ready to step out of the company's shadow and build something of their own. Ron said the TV station would still be funded by court order. Could that be their anchor? So everything else in their world is falling apart, unraveling, and becoming chaotic and unmanageable, and they cling to this insignificant and frankly terrible little TV station as the only island of... Oh, it's Slow-Mo Crow. What up, Slow-Mo Crow? AKA Nevermore? Greeting meow. Eager chittering. Oh, the cat and the crow are now talking. Affirmative meow. An agreeable caw. Friendly meow. Short coo. Negative meow. Chittering dismissively. Don't you chitter at me like that? Inquisitive meow? Confused coo. Doubtful meow. Soft chitters. We've all had this conversation. Curious meow. Inquisitive call. What if this goes on for like an hour? Confident meow. Curt chitters. Don't get curt with me, slow-mo crow. We've been dismissed, you guys. The cat can't. Oh, yeah, I guess it can go in the water. Cat is really fast. Six or seven men stood in the sun about a dozen yards from the ditch, and he could hear them laughing. He tried not to hear them. Instead, he listened to the shovel punching through the dirt as he shaped the trench. It was wet dirt. Mud, really. It made a hungry sound as he shaped the trench walls. One man was louder than the rest. He had a nervous laugh that sucked up all the air around him. The out-of-towner stuck his shovel into the dirt and squeezed the bridge of his nose. He sneezed, took a swig from his thermos. The laughter quieted into greedy chuckles, and he could feel the men approaching. So what we gathered from the poem, from the interlude, was that the out-of-towner got beat up or maybe even killed by the locals. Maybe he was the one trying to create the messianic ditch to save the town from flooding or something. And they were like, no, we're not having your out-of-towner ditch around here. And they kicked his ass and or killed him. And then they didn't get the ditch, and then the town got flooded, so... Dumbasses. That's kind of what I'm starting to imagine is the case here. A lot of town over here. This little dragonfly really moves. Look at the cat too. The cat ain't messing around. Is that Ezra over here talking to someone else now? Waffles, something weather. And here's a straight up ruin. What is that middle word there between waffles and weather? Waffles for any weather. Got it. Rain or shine waffles. Jorge scanned the shelf. He quickly found the book he was looking for. There were only a few dozen left. More shelves than books now. The result of an experiment called the New Selection. Privately, he called it the Purge. But only privately, in small groups of reliable complainers. The unspoken rule was to hold back criticism as long as possible. Experiments needed time to unfold naturally without the interference of doubt. Jorge would have preferred to complain more freely. Frazier proposed and executed experiments just like any other community member, but his experiments had a scorched earth quality. They were all destructive. He moved from one area of community life to the next in search of excess to cut back. Lately, he'd turned his scythe to the library. The new selection meant decimating their store of books according to Frazier's own inscrutable criteria. Now we are guaranteed something vital every time we take a book from the shelves. No more time lost to printed chaff. That's ridiculous. This is getting very dystopian now. Frazier's colorless voice echoed in Jorge's mind. He felt like spitting. Instead, he tucked the book under his arm and set off for the woods. The woods. Man, Frazier sounds like a real douche canoe. A real dingle nugget. Let's do some meowing at this girl, I guess. Greeting meow. Rita. Oh, hi, kitty. Where did you come from, huh? Follow a bird up here? Is this the Rita from the TV station? These folks, the ones who built this thing, they chase birds too. Must be. Intrigued meow. Really? That's what they wrote. They followed some migrating birds up here from Central America. Somewhere up to Florida. And then here. Skeptical meow. Well, that's what they wrote anyway. I guess it might have been a metaphor. This looked like a kid, but I guess that's just the perspective. If you actually look at her in scale versus the cat, she looks like her normal adult size, but just from looking, you know, from up high like this, it kind of looked like it was just a little girl, but no, it's Rita. Who are these people? Is that another dead horse? Oh, the horses were killed by the flood, or what? Marianne. So not too sad. No, I think it should be happy. Right. It's a remembrance. Right. Like a monument. Totally. So they should be represented with dignity and respect, of course. Ghost man. Of course. But not to the point where it makes everyone feel they have to be serious when they're standing under it. Does that make sense? No, yeah, it definitely does. I think I have an idea. Great. And Marianne. I'll just dig in. Thanks, Marianne. Happy to help. So they're talking about making a memorial for presumably all the people who died here. The seer reclined high in a tree, carving fine details into a small wooden pipe. She loved this spot. The height, the distance. She was always at a distance, watching everyone work. Wait, is this Weaver? From this height, she could see the earth movers shaping the mounds under the draftsman's supervision. She could see him inspecting his plan, the drawing he'd made from her game, the map. Clara's here, looking at the graves. Who's this here? All I can read is better days. They put their better days to rest here? I wonder whose better days we're talking about anyway. Whose better days indeed. Just remember, folks, these are the better days. Oh, it's the 3. Think it'll rain anymore? No. I don't see any clouds. At least they survived. The gamers. Hell, it'll probably rain anyhow. Just our luck. The gamers. Oh, let's do some inquisitive meows and shit. Assertive meow. Oh, really? So Emily can apparently just talk to animals. Axe! Confident meow. You think it's gonna rain again tomorrow? No. I don't know, man. Animals have a sense for the weather. Do they? Do they? Weather sense. It's because all animals are actually druids. Druids. As is apparently Emily, because she just casually understands both the bird and the cat at this point. Who are we meowing at now? What is that? Another cat? Alert meow. A croak reverberates inside the smoker. What? Excited meow. A frog slips out into the grass, too quick to see. This is crazy. Something to muse over. Oh boy. Sometimes you just have to pause and give it some thought. You have to consider it further. If you don't, you could be feline to yourself. What? Okay, where'd Old Man and Ezra go? Y'all are not allowed to just walk around anywhere you want. That cat kind of makes a lot of noise. Just saying. It's a Kirch. And the ghosts are walking around of the people who were killed in the great storm and the great flood. There's Ezra, I guess, or some other child. Presumably Ezra. Oh, and this is Nikki. What kind of fish are those? Should I say they were free? Only, what do I mean by free? This is interesting. This is kind of the dichotomy of freedom that I often think about. When people talk about being free, there's basically two kinds of free that you can be, and people have different ideas of what kind of freedom they really want. I think of it as being freedom from or freedom to. Freedom from is like unburdened, like it's talking about. When you're free from things imposing themselves on you, forcing you, things that you have no power over. So some people want to be free from things, versus free to is like empowered. That's a freedom to do things. So you might be very free from anybody or anything telling you what to do, but you still might not have any power to actually do anything yourself. So then you're free from, but you're not free to, or it could be the other way around. And usually they kind of cancel each other out. I mean, like one kind of comes with the other. Typically, if you have a lot of freedom to do things, you probably don't have a lot of freedom from, responsibilities, constraints, expectations, obligations, etc. But if you're free from any of those things, you probably don't have a lot of freedom to do things. Personally, I feel a lot more people are interested in freedom to than I am. I'm much more of a freedom from kind of person. Like, I don't really care that much about having the power to do things. I care a lot more about just not having anything forcing itself on me. You know? What's your freedom? What do I mean by free? Unburdened? Oh, hello. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm writing something. A sort of poem. Is it happy or sad? I'd like it to be hopeful somehow, but it just keeps coming out sad. Sad poems are sad. Sadly. Is that a bell? A big old bell hanging there? So I feel like this is like the ruins of some old mission or something. I don't know. Now here's Ezra and somebody else. Now that looks like another child. Same size. They must have been pretty nice pigs if they let you ride them like that. Oh, Flora. That's the other child that was that we saw down below in the, in the down below. I made myself as light as a feather, and they didn't even know I was there. Then what happened? Later, I had to cross the desert of broken glass. The desert was strangely beautiful. Desert was every different color, all at once. I was overwhelmed. Okay, little kids don't say things like rapturous trance.
I'll take you there if you want to see it. Maybe on Saturday.
I'm pretty busy. How about today?
Did I tell you? I discovered the place where all the garbage goes.
You mean the dump?
Oh no, it's much more exciting than that. There's a big fire at the center of the earth. It's been burning basically forever.
Imagine if we dumped all of our trash into the molten core of the world. What would happen? Would that work? Could we drill a big hole down to the molten core and would just a bunch of lava come out of there? I don't... Look, I think we need to work on the logistics of dumping our stuff into the core of the earth. Somehow. Josiah. These are some good ones.
The fire is maintained by ancient dinosaurs. They've burned themselves so many times, there's nothing left but oily bones.
As was like, cool. Here's my story.
I got to ride in a big truck and a tugboat. Wow, I'm jealous, but I won't let it ruin our friendship. We should stick together.
She's like, nah.
I agree completely.
Friendships made. Dude, the dinosaur is burning all the trash at the core of the earth. That's right there. I have my next D&D setting. Boom. The funny thing in the setting that I am working on for my game that I'm making does have something kind of like that. I mean, there's no dinosaurs, but they actually do have this sort of waste material that gets accumulated. It's like the byproduct of magic. You know how like in Dark Sun, magic like, you know, defiles the land? Well, in this setting, it's kind of like that, except what it does is it doesn't defile the land. It produces a byproduct. Every time you use magic, it makes like a sort of waste, kind of like nuclear waste. And that stuff is kind of like toxic, so they have to do something with it. Because it would just keep building up, and it would, you know, it would cause everything to rot or whatever, or corrupt everything. So they get the brilliant idea of digging a giant well to the center of the world and dumping it all in there. And then, you know, predictably, bad things happen. I thought it was a kind of a unique idea that I haven't really seen anywhere else, though. The idea of basically magic produces nuclear waste. I mean, it's not called nuclear waste, but it's... dead horse. Who's this? Oh, the dead horses, though. Why? Run away, horses. Run away. You are fast. Run on your horse legs. I don't know, I might have actually found everything in this area now, short of going back and talking to the main crew here. Is that another cat? Alert meow. A slithering sound from somewhere in the grass. Found a snake. If you are holding a snake, press 4. Cautious meow. Silence. Don't worry, snakes are your friends. They won't hurt you. What's going on over here? These people weren't here before. This is quite a gathering. Oh, this is 5 Dogwood Drive? Holy shit. Do you hear music? It's the Bed Quilt Ramblers! Always. Strange to say, but I feel like I've been here before. Anyone else? It just showed up. The house. Where did it come from? No, wrong voice. Where did it come from? Emily shrugs. It just showed up. We got the robots with us. A lot of mysteriousness here. Mysteriosity. Nobody lives here? Well, somebody ordered some furniture. It's actually quite spacious. Yeah, you could fly a plane in here. It feels warmer in here somehow, right? Strangely comfortable. The light in here is pretty great, actually. I could set up a new workshop here. I like how Shannon finds an abandoned, half-built house or whatever, and her first thought is, I could just take this place. Whose is this? Dunno! Finders keepers, though, am I right? I could fix TVs again, or whatever people need. Hell, I could fix toasters. Toaster repair, ready for the apocalypse. I love to perform in a place like this, at sunset. There's so much stuff just spread all over the place, from the storm. Maybe we could put some of the town's old stuff here, like on display, like a museum, or a memorial. So whoever lives here next will know who came before. We could put on a play for all the animals. At least there'll always be bugs. That's what I like about bugs. We saved what we could. Hey cat, I'll race you. From here to that pile of mail, okay? I'm back to being the glowing dragonfly and the cat. Somebody's carrying... I guess that must be Junebug or Johnny, because we got the robot legs, which nobody's ever said anything about. Oh. Somehow I still have these things. We basically visited all these places. IOU from the Hard Times Distillery. Shannon's. A lot of smells. Poison, breaking bread, booze. Diesel, horse mushroom, warm beer, lotus flower, cat food, wet, ammonia, guano? Delicious, whatever it is. Delicious guano. Hey, what's up, Dennis? How you doing? Malik70 in the house. How you doing? Good to see you. What have you been up to? Mud, trees, old bird poop, sweet tea. Logbook. Wait, who the hell's logbook is this? Kate's, maybe? Refuel at LL, lucky timing, needle in red, busy night. Rum colony, mail dropped, glass pickup, 4 times bins, rest, saw crab below deck carrying whole bagel in claw. Crab bagels. Please, phone stop, all ashore, Val on helm, all back. Redvansky, mail dropped, waste pickup, 1 times bin, 4 ashore, 4 back. Leg stretch, 2 ashore, 2 back, smart kid, decent haul. Exchange, 2 ashore, 1 back. That must be when we lost Conway. Breakfast, all ashore, tide, all back, damn good. Iquitos, 4 ashore, 4 back, got a little weepy. And now we've got, I guess, the keys to the truck. You're just chilling? I'm doing well, thanks. What have you been up to? Well, this is probably a good place to leave off, in fact. So we've begun Act 5. It seems very intriguing so far. So next time we'll continue with Act 5. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Kentucky Route Zero.